You guys can turn on your microphones. All right, I'll call this meeting to order. This is the Town Council meeting for Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, you can do the roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilman Larson.
Here.
Councilman Dickerson.
Here.
Mayor Green.
Here.
Councilman Castillo.
Here.
And Councilman Burchard.
Here.
Mayor Green, you have a quorum of the council with all members present.
All right, thank you. I think the first thing we wanted to do is talk about Winter Jubilee, and Monica, you were going to
Yeah.
do that?
So for all you here in the room and any of you at home, we wanted to make sure that we invited you to our Winter Jubilee. It is happening on January 26th and 27th. On Friday, the 26th at 5 o'clock, there's the hot dog roast, the free hot dog roast at the Civic Center at the gazebo. At 6:30, they have the light parade, which starts at Grays River Cove Resort. And then 7:15, there is the Full Moon Ski, which is hosted by ATAP. Also at 7:15, we have movie night inside the Alpine Civic Center, co-hosted by the Alpine Christian Fellowship. Then on the 27th, Saturday, from 12 to 3, we have children's activities hosted by the Alpine Recreation Group, and their activities will be announced on Facebook. They haven't firmed everything up just yet. We also have the Wind River Youth Snowcross going on, and times and location of where you can be to see that race will also be announced on Facebook. And then Saturday night from 5:30 to 9:30, we have casino night. They have convinced me to deal, so you need to come play. Because I'd rather be on the other side of the table. Okay? So
And it's
come
so
and have
much
some
fun.
fun.
And-
Come and have some fun with us.
And the casino night benefits, so there's a couple of, what do you call it?
Scholarships.
Scholarships, thank you. That, so basically what you do is you put in, I can't remember what the buy-in is.
$40.
And then $40 goes in, you play all night, you win tickets, whatever, then you can put your tickets in different raffle items. And then at the end of the night, they draw names. So that's always really fun. But the biggest benefit is that money goes towards scholarships. So last year was a good attendance, but hopefully this year we get even more. So if anyone has any questions on that, Saturday night, it was fun. Last year we had so much weather. There was, as you remember, big snowstorms.
Yeah, the turnout wasn't as
yeah, it wasn't as good as we would have hoped. But this year we're going to crush it. So
Yeah.
thank you.
So we hope to see you there.
Thanks for the update. Monica, just so you know, the poster that's on here is for last year's poster, the link that we have on here. I
Oh,
don't
did
know-
they scan?
I don't-
She might have scanned the wrong one up.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I'm
so
sorry.
If you're using that,
you have are correct. Yeah.
you have the updated one?
Good, because I was gonna post
Okay,
that.
so we'll make sure that the updated one is going out public.
Yeah, and the one I actually have
Oh, yeah.
in
that's
here,
the updated
it's the
one.
correct one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Must just grab the wrong one.
All right.
Thank you.
Next is the consent agenda. Has everyone had a chance to go through everything on the consent agenda?
Yes.
We kind of have a new way that we're doing the bills, and you guys will notice that the vouchers are different and updated, and there's going to be basically a check register that you will approve. So all the bills will be on there. It should be, help clarify what bills we're paying, going forward. So I think that's a,
Yeah, and I think at our February work session, I think it's something that we should talk about amongst ourselves when we have time to talk about it, just to make sure it's a real good opportunity to set a system that works for both you and for the staff. So now's the time, I think, to do it. So Jeremy went through everything, and so he actually picked up on some things that are concerns. So I think we need to really analyze this here at our work session in February and make sure that it's a good system. So
yeah, we want to make sure that all the information's out there that you,
that you're looking,
councilmen need to be able to approve the bills. So
yeah.
you'll have to let us know if you have any feedback. And then we also have some of the catering permits, which I think all of you are familiar with, but I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion for approval of consent agenda with the exclusion of the month's bills for next month. 'Cause
Second.
not everybody's looked at them.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Madam Treasurer, by not approving those bills, what's going to happen?
I assume we're moving them to the action items?
I think so.
Well,
Counsel?
You can pull them out and discuss them right now as to what your questions are. Ask the treasurer the questions.
It's just that nobody else has reviewed them. Do we need a 5-member or a 4-member approval of, or review of bills?
Well, what you're saying when you're leaving them on the consent agenda, you're all saying, hey, we've reviewed them, we're okay with
Right.
them.
Right.
Okay?
So we just need to
So-
pull them off and then review them, and then we could, by the end of tonight, we could approve them.
Yes, you
Okay.
can approve them.
Let's
Now,
do
if
that.
there's something in the future, if there's something, that let's say you get this in the packet, you get the check register, these are the
Mm-hmm.
the bills that are being requested to be paid at this time, and you have a question on something, let's say Bob's Tires for $5,200 for tires and rims. Okay, you can move to approve it, but Bob's Tires, and say we're gonna discuss Bob's Tires and find out why we paid $5,200 for, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
So, but just for clarification point, you, in your review of the law, it is not necessary for all council members to have seen all the bills and the checks prior to approving payment of them.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm talking about all the actual invoices and vouchers and checks, that whole pile.
They don't have to
prior
see
to
the
that.
actual check. What normal practice in other municipalities I've worked with is you have a report. These are the bills that have been presented to the
Mm-hmm.
town, okay? They don't have to see the actual one, I guess. And review the amount, who's it going to, et cetera. So,
Okay.
okay.
If there's anything that someone doesn't agree with, whatever, we
Yeah,
just
they
move
move
to
to pull it off.
pull it off the consent agenda. Okay.
So if I send you a bill for $15,000, you go, whoa, wait a minute.
Approved.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
Not
important
even
that,
mine.
it's just important that we get that done tonight so we can pay the bills.
Right.
So
Okay, so we
let's,
have time.
we-
We'll have time.
we'll maybe even take a recess to go through it at some point.
Okay.
But right now, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda with pulling the general bills to pay out of it? Okay. Do we have any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, so we'll get a chance to review those here shortly. Moving down to reports. The main thing I wanted to talk about tonight is, so everybody knows there is a concerted effort to pass the 6-penny tax again this election cycle. And 6 years ago, it did not pass. Narrowly didn't pass in Alpine. Some of the other communities up and down the county, it passed. Right now, we're going through the process of figuring out what we have to do as a municipality to, basically what the process is every municipality has to vote on whether or not they want to be a part of the 6-penny tax. And then I think it's a 2/3 majority or something like that of the municipalities.
majority.
I'm sorry?
It's a majority.
It's a majority, so it's 51%? Or, I thought it was 2/3, but
Okay.
either way, if that gets passed, then all the municipalities, all the towns in the county, including unincorporated areas, are going to have to vote on whether or not it passes in the election. So they'll put it on the ballot, and we have to, as a community, put what we want on the ballot representing the town of Alpine. So we're going to be coming up with capital improvement plan and make sure that we are putting something out there that's likely to pass. Because the feedback that happened 6 years ago was there was no good projects, there was a lot of equipment got added at the last minute, and we want to make sure that if it passes, the town of Alpine is being represented by something that's quality that people feel like they can vote for. So right now, we're just getting information, and it's incumbent upon us to educate the town. We can't tell you, we suggest you do it or whatever. We can only educate the town. So we are going to be going through that process over the next couple months, coming up with what we think is the good project, and then the town council will vote on it. I think it has to happen before the May meeting, but we'll double check that. It's either going to
It
happen
has to, we have to, yes, at the
April,
latest, May,
May.
April would be what we would
We-
shoot
so we
for as
vo-
far as resolution.
Yeah, so we'd
Yeah.
vote in April. So anyways, if anyone has experience in this or would like to get involved, please let us know. At some point, we might even put out there some of the projects that we're thinking about offering up and getting feedback. But anyways, that's kind of a major thing that's coming down the road.
And the county will choose their own project as well. I still don't know the answer to the majority, but it says 2/3 of towns have to submit a resolution to place the sixth
That's right.
penny on the ballot.
Yeah, so it is 2/3.
So we'll see what other
Yeah.
townships
And
decide
this,
to do.
this is a $26 million revenue over 4 years. And what they're looking for is shovel-ready projects. So something that's ready to break ground, and then they go and get a bond for $26 million and fund the project immediately. So you put the shovel in the ground, you have to have it done by 4 years, because that goes away. And then we have to be prepared, if this passes, be prepared for the next ballot. So in 4 years, basically, we could vote again and see if there's another, if we want to keep the 6 penny tax. So it's not a permanent tax. It has to be voted on every 4 years. So I think this is something real important, and you're going to hear a lot more about it over the coming months. So if you have any questions or comments, reach out to me or the clerk, and we'll try to give you as much information as we can on that. Next, we have the engineering report, which I don't think anybody from Jorgensen's here, but we have it posted on the packet. If anyone has any questions on that, they can go look at the packet online. Councilman Larson, we'll let you hit the.
Let's see, economic development, no news there unless, Mayor, you have anything.
There's a meeting at the end of this month, right?
I have not heard.
I think it's
one
the
or the other.
24th, I think.
25th or
24th or 25th. I
We
know
need
there's
to
a
just-
commission meeting on the
Yeah.
25th.
We'll
So
make
possibly a
sure.
meeting on the
Yeah.
24th.
I think you may have to, I have something else on that day. I think it's the 25th actually, but yeah, we'll look at that, so.
See about getting
And
it
then-
going. Utility easements, still working through that. I've got a couple of phone calls to make and no change so far there. But we're planning, like I say, to start this spring, as soon as the snow melts, and finish by summer. More of the news, Alpine Travel and Tourism Board. I've completed the application for those looking to apply for a grant for fiscal year 2024, 2025. You can find that. Right now, the link's not ready yet on the town's website, but you can get the application from Melody. And applications are due by February 15th. And then we'll meet as a board to review applications Also, with the application, there's instructions and what qualifies, doesn't qualify in the process. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or any new board member. But right now, we have a current balance of $33,820.34. You slice 10% off of that for overhead versus state, because of state statute. So we're looking at essentially around $30,000. That's it.
Is that how much we were appropriated, I guess, from the,
We have yet to receive funds from the county.
okay. And
That
you
would be
anticipate-
exceedingly a lot more, supposedly in the 140,000.
That's what I thought.
So they get every month when the money comes from the state with sales tax, it includes sales tax, use tax,
Lodging tax.
and lodging tax.
Okay, so we-
Is also now in that same funding, so that what they send us is broken up accordingly. So it
What
comes
else?
around the 15th of the month.
What has to happen at the county level for us to start getting that big money?
Patience.
We should talk to them at the county commissioners meeting. If you'd like to attend that, you should. Okay. Is that all you had, Councilman
That's
Larson? Okay, thank you. The Lincoln County Sheriff report was submitted in writing. Next is the Treasurer's report.
So, with the new system, you're gonna get a financial report every month now, because it's gonna be easier. However, I wanted to get you the F-66 stuff. I neglected to give that to you sooner. And so all of that is in your packet. It is all, anybody's interested, it's also in the public packet on our
Explain what the
website.
F-66
So the F-66 is a report that we're required to do to the Department of Audit. It basically is your cash standing as of the end of a fiscal year. And so in addition to that, there is also a requirement for a self-audit. They call it a self-audit, although our CPA did do it. And so all that documentation is scanned in, and it's, if you'd like to look at it, and again, we will be discussing all of this as part of our financial, starting our financial plan for next fiscal year at our next meeting. But if you have any questions, I can try to answer them now.
It's riveting.
It is
information.
riveting.
So,
Scary information.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did have a comment off of that. I was talking to other municipalities about how they perform checks and balances. And a few of them offered up that they rotate town council members every month and that they go in, it doesn't take them, depending on their size, obviously, it doesn't take them any more than maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And they'll sit down with the clerk, without the clerk, and they'll just go through all of the checks, make sure that the check numbers against the registry fit the amounts. And it's a great way for us to educate ourselves on all of the checks.
Essentially what you did this evening.
Yeah.
And he did find some typos from the person who entered all of them.
Okay.
There was a 3-cent error and then another penny error, and then there was an invoice that was attached to the other stuff that wasn't actually in the system. So he did a great job. So he found all the problems, and so now we'll fix them in the morning.
Who found the problems?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
He came early and he went through every
Wow.
last one, even added them up.
Even attended another meeting at the same time.
You were. He had his headphones on, listened to a meeting. I did it.
We'll utilize your services in the future then. Is that all you had?
Yeah.
Monica? Okay, thank you. So the Alpine Education Committee, we've going to be making our appointments tonight, but they have already been meeting. And so the liaison is Emily, and why don't you go ahead and give us your first report from the Alpine Education Committee?
Well, actually, I'd love to hand over my time to a committee member that wants to come forward and just give a little bit of progress. I will say that we have a really wonderful volunteer mix of parents that have had children, sometimes multiple children in the school system. We have educators, we have administrators, a lot of people that are passionate and have experience both with the school district and with charter schools. So the entire goal of the committee is doing our due diligence, making sure that we're researching whatever route is the best route for Alpine. And there's a lot of research involved, but yes, we've already met twice. We've had a lot of county feedback. Dan Dockstader came to our last meeting and provided his support. So I think we have a really wonderful, passionate group of people, and I appreciate them giving their time to make this a reality for our community.
And who is gonna?
That's a good question. Jordan, would you like to come forward? He saw me staring at him, that's why. Yes, that's
Mr.
voluntold.
Kurt Mason, please come over and you could turn on that mic if you don't mind. That big button.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councilman. My name is Jordan Kurt Mason. I am an educator in Jackson Hole at the high school. Been there for the last couple of years, and before that, I taught in Star Valley at the high school for 7 years. I am part of this committee that has been unofficially tasked as of now, hopefully officially soon, to bring quality education that is equitable and really importantly, long-lasting to Alpine and the surrounding community. We have met numerous times over the last month, meeting with officials from the state that are in education, representatives from our state, and school board member from Lincoln County. And anybody else that we really find is knowledgeable and can help assist in getting this goal that we have. We really have focused on creating a solid vision and mission to bring that education and what that should look like for our community. We've been exploring various avenues in every direction, from looking at what kind of partnerships can be made both locally and outside of Alpine to bring that. But in general, again, this has been wonderful for us to be able to meet as a group, to come up with this really good vision and look down the path of what needs to come, what actionable steps need to happen as we move forward. The town has been phenomenal in this support and this pursuit, allocating funds potentially to hire consultants and gather more information, which we really look forward to that being a very critical part in this process. And we will happily continue to report on what our findings are in the future. As of right now, I think we are still in the data gathering stage, looking at what is, again, that best long-term solution. Is this, our current preliminary goals seem to align in working with the current district to move and change Etna Elementary School to a K-6 environment, which would allow for education of our young peoples to be within a 10-minute drive as opposed to 20 plus minutes, especially in the wintertime, from a young age all the way through. And then a secondary goal of moving towards the ideally next school that would be built within our community or in our county, being a middle school, also to be located between Etna and Alpine. Those two focuses seem to be both equitable and long-lasting, but that said, we are still exploring other avenues and what that could look like. So that's our report. You guys have any questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
And this is going to sound like a really stupid question, but I hear this word being used a lot in education, and I want a definition.
Okay.
What is equitable?
Thank you.
Access to all individuals that would like to be a part of that school system. Equity in the school, I mean, obviously there are different layers equity to education, you can look at that from a financials perspective, which, if you were to go down the path of, say, private schools, the equity, I would argue, is not there, as, someone who does not have the means would not be able to access. Equity in location, transportation, that's a big issue that I think that most folks in Alpine struggle with right now, is the equity to how far it is for any student to, how long they have to be in a bus, to how far away often our parents are from those individuals at any given time, especially with so many of us working in Jackson. And equity being for, all abilities to access that education. So you are not, within the educational world, especially the public schools, we have a wide range of guarding factors, whether it be language, whether it be sort of need for a special education plan. There are a lot of different factors that you would want to take into account. So making sure that if whatever school would serve this area, if we were to bring a school to this area, that it would be able to cover all of those needs.
Jordan, could I also suggest, because I think what, I don't want to speak for Jim, but I think what he's getting at is one of the mantras for the school district is equitable opportunities. So I think we need a really good definition on what the school board and the administrators think, what's the definition?
Sure.
And so
I
we
think
can understand.
one of the
Is
issues
that
with
what you were trying to get at, Jim?
Well, because this is a buzzword that's
Yeah.
going around.
Sure.
And I think a lot of times people don't know what it really means. And in the way I look at it, research it, it means taking from somebody who has and giving to somebody who doesn't.
I would say in any word, especially in the edu-talk, as we would call it, which that can fall under, you can look at it in various different ways. And if you wanted to take the perspective of looking at equity in taking from someone who has and giving to someone who doesn't, I would say that doesn't necessarily align with our current goals. Our goals would be more on the equity of what we were talking about, is giving the opportunity.
Keep using equity. You can't use the same word to define the word.
Sure. Okay.
I'm just trying, because you throw this around, and I mean, as a fourth generation Star Valley person, and having kind of a pulse on some of the old timers and what they listen to on a daily basis, and that's a dog whistle. So you may want to figure out how to come across with, I'm just saying, just
It
come across
is-
that word, that you're not using that word.
I would respectfully, I would agree and disagree at the same time. I have worked with many of these folks that are at the district level, being in the school system. I worked with and along Matt and Jason, and I understand where some of those knee-jerk responses can come from when you say the wrong thing. However, those same words are being used to back up a different narrative. And I think if you are going to be having conversation, if you are not using the language and the same talking points and changing the narrative on what that does mean, you can argue equity means taking from someone and giving to someone else. You could also argue is you are within 10 minutes of your school and these people are not. And so I think there is a time and a place to argue the merits of what that word is.
I'm
But
just
I
throwing it out. I'm not.
Totally.
Not putting you on the spot, because it keeps being used.
Sure.
We need to learn how to use it to our advantage.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's definitely something that I think
We
you
will-
guys will get to the bottom of.
Okay.
I have full confidence in that. Anybody else have questions for Jordan? Thanks, Jordan.
Okay.
And thank you to the rest of the committee. You're doing an amazing job. Shay, Kelly, And Heather is here.
Heather is here, yes.
And Emily, so
Our
they're the
committee
5
is
people.
here.
So thank you for all the time you're putting in.
Thanks.
We really appreciate it. Yes. All right, Mike Hunsaker. I don't know if Mike's here.
Mike here.
Is anyone else from Star Valley Health here?
No, and he asked
Do we-
to be put on the agenda.
Yeah, do we know what he was coming to talk
He
about?
was coming to give a update on, what's going on at the medical facility
Okay.
With the build out.
with the
of
build out,
emergency
so
room. Yeah.
I don't
Do
know
a
if,
brief, basically, they have started or planning on start construction this month or next. Was still the plan to finish up by this time next year. I think actually by October, but, you know, construction, so add 3 months. And so it'll be the ER and outpatient OR with, it'll include cath lab, room for ENT procedures, scopes, procedures, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple other. And then I believe he was going to talk about, they've since brought in an ENT cardiologist, a dermatologist, and one other that I'm missing, but,
I think they're also adding a enclosure for the ambulance.
yeah, that's gonna be part of the build it, so
So
that,
when you get loaded off the ambulance, you don't have to be out in the blizzard.
Exactly.
Which seems convenient.
yeah, so basically off that, what would that be, that southwest side, they're gonna be, the only thing that they'll add as far as exterior, structure is an ambulance garage, that they'll have, 2 bays, you know, the ambulance will pull in, close, in a nice little area that they're not gonna get blown over or blizzard or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Thanks for the update, Councilor
Well,
Larson. Pseudo update.
There may be more, I'll
Okay.
reach out to
If anyone has questions
Many
about what's
hats.
happening there, I definitely encourage
many,
you to
many
reach out
hats.
to
If,
Mike
if you have
Hunsaker.
any questions or you'd like to make a donation, I'm now the chair of the Star Valley Health Foundation Board, so we appreciate your support and all that.
With his hand out. He's
Exactly.
yeah. Thanks for that. All right, so we'll move into action items. First item on the list is the official appointments.
yes, we have resolution number 2024-001, a resolution to designate the official appointments, assignments, and agencies of the town of Alpine, Wyoming for the calendar year 2024.
I would entertain a motion on resolution 2024-001.
Make a motion for the official appointments. God, I screwed that all up.
You already did.
Just
You
hammered
already
it.
did.
I hammered it.
You did.
Okay, start over.
You
Frank.
got it.
Make. That will make me blush. Anyway, I make a motion for resolution number 2024-001, official appointments, seeking approval of resolution number 2024-001.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. That was big, Frank.
That
Thank you.
was. I might have to leave now.
Because he's the second guy. Yeah. Do we have any discussion? I would say in general, these are just the typical appointments that we have. This year, we have 2 new members of Planning and Zoning. And we have a new person on the Tourism Board. So the rest of the appointments are basically all of our internal appointments. We also have our Code Enforcement Officer, Steve Gilcrease. And he's also serving as our Emergency Management and Safety Officer, so he's going to be busy. But any questions or comments from the council?
From the counselor.
Can you change mine to prosecuting attorney, not municipal court attorney? That's the designation, sorry.
we have town attorney and town municipal court attorney. So what do you want it to be?
It should be prosecuting attorney.
Okay. I just copied and pasted, but I'm happy to change it for you.
I'm not trying to call attention.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so where's that municipal court?
So instead of town municipal court attorney, it's going to be town prosecuting attorney.
Do we have a motion for amendment?
Make a motion to amend on town positions for Attorney James K. Sanderson to change from town municipal court attorney to town prosecuting court attorney James K. Sanderson.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion on that amendment?
Jim, any more?
No, sorry.
No? We'll make that change, thank you.
Sorry.
All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, back to the original motion. Any other questions, concerns, comments on the appointments? All right. All those in favor of resolution number 2024-001, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Okay, so if,
With that being said,
if Susan, Dan, Shannon, and Steve could come to the front of the room, I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to.
We're gonna swear you in.
Time.
I'm going to swear at you. I mean, swear you in.
so we have Sue Colbus is joining us on planning and zoning.
Yay!
Dan Scow is also on planning and zoning. Steve Gilcrease is our new codes enforcement officer. And Shannon Bowers is joining us on the tourism board. Most of you would know Shannon from Melvin, but that's where you recognize her from, but she's going to be a great addition to the board. So, Madam Clerk,
Okay.
we'll let you take it.
So I'm going to do this all at once. So clearly, when I say state your name, state your own name. So if you want to raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming, that I have not knowingly violated any laws related to my appointment. You guys are great. Or cause it to be done by others. And that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity, so help me God. You are.
I think that's good.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
They're gonna be fun planning and zoning.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to work on that for the next swearing in, but we'll have them all practice a couple of times. We'll coach them a little bit better, but yes, thank you.
Oh, Shannon need to sign something.
Shannon needs to sign something?
That's okay.
Okay.
We'll catch her later.
What's that?
She's already gone.
Want me to text her?
You guys have gone far. Do you want him to?
Yeah, she needs to sign her swearing in thing.
No.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay, so next on the list is the designated signatories.
Yeah, so we have resolution number 2024-02, designated signatories for the town of Alpine. And in keeping, for the public, in keeping with state statute, the signatories are consistent with state statute. The mayor and the treasurer will sign all checks, so myself and the mayor. in the absence of the mayor pro tem will sign in his absence, the deputy treasurer will sign in mine, and that in the absence of myself and Melody, Andrea is elected to be the signatory. So we're just covering all our bases, so.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion seeking approval of resolution number 2024-002, designated signatories.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? This is pretty cut and dry. This is something that we obviously have to do, so if there's no further discussion, all those in favor of resolution number 2024-002, say aye.
Aye.
Aye? All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Shannon is coming back. Do you have what she needs to sign? She just has to get back to work. That's why she left so quick.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
Who seconded that? I apologize.
I did.
Andrea.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Andrea.
You're welcome.
Let's see, next on our agenda is the Hafiz addition annexation. Thank you, Shannon. Do you need a pen? Hafiz.
I got one.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry.
I know, it's too late. We just want you running in and outside.
So on this Hafiz annexation, we were able to come to an agreement on the easement that we spoke about at the last meeting. Mr. Sanderson, are you
Yeah,
Thank you,
confident
thank you.
that
we
we
should get it printed out and get her signed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone through it. Mr. Sanderson's gone through it. Everyone on the east side has gone through it, so it seems like it's in place. And basically, this is granting us the easement for the utilities going across that piece of property, which actually hooks up, our intention is to, basically where KJ's is and everything, we have to pump the sewer, not to get too in this weeds about the sewer, but we have to pump it across this highway and then down. So this is going to allow us to basically use gravity feed sewer for everything at KJ's, any future developments over there, and it's the right thing to do. So thank goodness Mr. Hafiz and his family was willing to grant us the easement, and this is something that we've been waiting for in the town of Alpine for a very long time. So we're very grateful that that has happened. So, do you have any comments?
We just need the Exhibit A description. I didn't ever see that description, so that will have to be supplied.
Is that the technical, legal description?
Yes. And so if you note that my description on, is that it will be signed upon approval by you, because I realized that that description was missing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need to make sure that we have on here, where is it, Monica? Is that, oh, so on the next item, oh, wait. So you're saying,
Well, so it refers to the description as an Exhibit A.
Yeah.
And
But
I
that's
think
not
we were
included yet.
Still trying to figure out what was the most feasible in the agreement to
Yeah.
pretends to say, okay, we'll figure out what's most feasible within the amount of time. I still think you can assign it, but it can't be recorded until we have it.
right, well, yeah, we'll just wait to sign this until we have that legal description, right?
Well, you could go ahead and sign it because we still don't have it, because you have to find the most feasible way to get it.
Right,
Don't-
yeah, we're not gonna know it,
But
actually.
I would go ahead and sign it, and then it can't be recorded until we have that,
Final piece.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's actually pretty clear in here that it
Right.
mentions, I can't remember exactly where it said, but
I think it's in,
180 days.
yeah. we
it's
have-
right in here, yeah.
So there would actually be an actual easement that will be executed after. This is just the agreement to.
To
say
execute
he
one.
will give us that easement.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
That's, thank you.
Is there a reason why we don't have a map, like, along with this agreement?
Because it hasn't been developed yet, that's what we were just talking about. So we're gonna get the actual legal description, there'll be a map, and then, in the next course of business, we will, go over, we can look at the map specifically if you'd like. But yes, it is going to, I don't know if I have,
Yeah, because my both Exhibit A is blank and Exhibit B map is blank.
they'll, yeah, I don't know why
And I
that,
don't see the map. So that's why I was
So
questioning.
Yeah.
you're
That's
in the annexation,
Yes,
so that's not where we're at?
that's not where we're at.
Yeah.
We're
But
on,
it should be part of the sewer. I mean, if we're gonna petition to get an easement, the sewer should be identified where it's going.
that's exactly right. And that's what we are going to do. So we have to actually put this agreement in place. So then, the engineers can figure out the exact legal description of what that easement is
And the
going to be.
placement
and
of
the
that
placement. So we are definitely going to do that.
I'm just saying, it seems like the cart's before the horse.
We're gonna put the horse before the cart for sure.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah.
as we're looking at it, it seems like that to me.
Yeah, we will make sure that we have the actual map, the legal description, all that stuff. And as the agreement states, it'll be beneficial to the town and the petitioner. So,
And just to clarify, this is not an easement agreement we're asking them to vote on. This is an agreement to grant an easement.
correct.
So it's an agreement for them to grant an easement as soon
they
as
have the easement.
the alignment can be determined by the engineers.
Thank you for your clarification.
Okay?
if something.
Yeah, it
happens
seems
to Mr.
confusing
Hafiz,
otherwise. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
That's the whole.
Yes.
Walks out the door, yeah. Anyways, we won't go. But, so I think we're good. Does anybody have any questions regarding this document?
Let's get it going.
I'm sorry? Yeah.
Get that.
Do we have a motion?
Motion for approval of agreement to grant easement, Haviz addition, annexation, and granting the mayor the authority to sign on behalf of the town of Alpine upon approval of the town attorney.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Has everyone had a chance to look through the agreement? Okay, I think it's in place. Everything's in order for sure. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the agreement to grant easement with the Hafiz addition annexation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. So now we are going to tackle the third reading of the ordinance on the Hafiz annexation.
So you have before you Town of Alpine ordinance number 2023-09, town boundaries, an ordinance annexing certain land to the Town of Alpine and approving the Raymond Hafiz annexation to the Town of Alpine. This is a third and final reading.
Mr. Sanderson, do we have everything in place?
Well, you need to have a section, I can't see that, but, that includes the Silver Star track. We do have authorization for them to have them to be included.
And also for Xi, so we need, that's something we need a clarification on. The statute requires notification to include an annexation report that would also have included those, and so my annexation report didn't include that.
Well, I don't think you can do it on Xi. I think you can do it with Silver Star because it was contained.
Contained
the area.
within.
Right.
Okay.
Xi is a completely different
Right.
thing.
Okay.
So, I'm not comfortable bringing that along
Okay.
with it
Okay,
on a third reading, but you can amend it
Okay.
so that it includes the Silver Star portion.
because it's all within
Landlocked
that.
portion
Okay.
Within Mr. Hafiz's.
The island.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where would we put that?
So how would you,
Well, I don't think you need to amend what you've got up there. It's just the exhibits will have to be amended to show that that Silver Star portion.
that Silver Star portion is part of the
within
property?
Part of it, yes,
Okay, does he,
rather than being
Okay.
taken
Okay.
out.
Okay. And so for the other property, we just need to do the annexation process separately?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't think that was included on the notice for the first one, so.
No,
It wasn't.
no, it wasn't.
Okay, so we don't need to make any amendments to
You
this.
have
We don't
make
need
any
to,
event, but just when it's finalized and published, it has to show that portion of Hafiz's property with the Silver Star property as part of.
As part of that, and that's what gets submitted
than
to the,
chunk out of
to the
it.
county?
Right.
Okay.
you don't want to add some exhibit C or something like that that specifies this?
No, I
Okay.
mean, I'll just have to have Marlo submit his map showing that in there, if
Okay.
Marlo's still on the
He's,
line.
he's on the line. Hopefully you heard that, but we'll make sure that we, yeah, we'll make sure that's included in there. Is there any questions on that? What we're doing there? Basically, we just need to get the center of the donut included in this.
That's how it should be worded.
Yeah, let's not word it like that. Any further discussion on this ordinance?
Can you scroll down? the
Sure.
Whereas here,
No, she didn't attach the map.
yeah,
Should we just say,
I don't think I think if you put in the whereas section, Raymond Hafiz, owner, and Silver Star Communications, owner of the property described in Exhibit A. Okay.
Let me print this. Hold on.
we're gonna make that change right now?
I'm gonna print it and cross it.
Okay.
Do you want me to email you the Word document?
Yeah.
That'll be the quickest way.
You know what, let's take a 5-minute recess, and then while we're doing some of this, we can look at the bills as well.
Okay.
So we'll just take a 5-minute recess. You guys can turn off the mics right now.
Yeah, it's, there it is.
turn on the microphones. We'll call this meeting back to session. Now I think we have the updated here. The whereas will now read, I guess, do we just need to make an amendment and read that?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe someone could make a motion for amendment.
Should we make the first motion and then motion to amend?
Didn't we already? Oh, okay. Let's,
No, yeah. So now you have this copy in front of you.
yeah. Let's see. Okay, so, here we go. Third reading ordinance. Councilman Larson, do you have a motion for us?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for approval on third reading of ordinance number 2023-09, Haviz annexation to include Silver Star Tract in the annexation.
Second.
Well done. We have a motion. It's been seconded. Just to make sure we have, everyone at home understands. Did I just lose that? I think I just lost it. Okay. Okay. The whereas now reads, Raymond Hafiz and Silver Star Communications, Inc., owners of the property described herein as Exhibit A, have depicted herein on the map. Exhibit B has initiated proceedings for annexation into the town of Alpine, Lincoln County, pursuant to Wyoming Statute 15-1-403. Any discussion?
Would you like to come up, Juan?
Juan, come, please. Hey, Juan, please come up and turn on the microphone, please.
On?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I couldn't catch Monica before she went to get a printout, but if you scroll down to the third page where the dates of the approvals are, if you notice the second reading date,
Thank you.
that was one. But my question is, there were only 14 days between the first and second reading. And could you just explain to us why that shorter lapse as opposed to a month apart, as I understand the readings to be?
Yes.
Thank you.
So there is a statutory requirement, Jim, I believe it's, is it 10 days between
10 days.
readings? Is the only statutory requirement by the state of Wyoming between readings. So you could enact an ordinance in 20 days.
So this was 14 days.
No, all three readings, from first, second to third, could happen in 20 days
Okay.
by law. So I'm not proposing that, but, and typically, that's what we would do at a regular council meeting. However, when this landed in our office, it got delayed a bit. And so, in doing so, when it landed on my desk and I got a hold of it, my goal was to get it done in the original time frame it should have been handled in. And so that's why we did first reading, special meeting after the hearing, and then did it 2 weeks later, and then did the third reading to keep him on time schedule, because where it started, the ball was dropped, in all honesty.
Madam Clerk, and notices were published for all readings, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I had questions about that timeline as well, so I appreciate you asking. And December, I know, is a difficult month because it is a month full of holidays and travel. And so moving forward with our annexation agreement, which we as a council are working on making some improvements, we will be addressing timelines and just making sure that the public has ample opportunity, ample time to come process large development, large annexations that are happening, any annexations that are happening, and ask questions, and to give the council time to ask questions as well. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yes, thank you. Do we need to change this? Do we need to make a motion to change this, or is this a clerical thing, this date?
2023 to 2024.
Just, it's a clerical thing.
Okay.
Change, so.
Is there any other comments?
I know we have Marlo and Dale on the line. Did they have any?
They're probably waiting to
Further.
see if anything, if they need to be called on. Is there any other further comment from town council? Any other public comment? We'd be willing to listen. All right, since there's no further comments, let me get back to. I just want to make sure I'm reading the right one here. Okay. All those in favor?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
do you want to amend the whereas?
Yes, sorry, I thought we did that. Please jump ahead, or go ahead and do that.
Mine is not bringing it up. We bring it up on the screen.
Mine wasn't either.
Every time I close that, it's,
It's a different one.
huh?
Yeah.
Every time I close that, it says that.
There we go. Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to amend ordinance number 2023-09 from whereas Ramin Hafiz and Silver Star Communications, Inc., owners of the property described herein as Exhibit A and depicted herein on the map, Exhibit B, has initiated proceedings for annexation into the town of Alpine, Lincoln County, Wyoming, pursuant to Wyoming State Statute 15-1-403. And my optometrist would be pretty proud that I could read that.
Good, man.
We
Second.
have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion on that amendment?
Just a grammar problem, just change the has to have, I didn't catch that. After Exhibit B. Because you have.
To include changing has to have, HAVE, initiated proceedings.
I was confused. I got you now.
Okay. So the motion as stated, including the have instead of has. Any discussion? All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we're back to the original motion, which we very much want to get to a vote on. I'm anxious. So any further discussion on the ordinance? All right. All those in favor of ordinance number 2023-09 on third reading, the Hafiz annexation, say aye.
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 Aye. Did you have a vote?
No.
Did you abstain? I didn't
No.
hear you say
Oh,
anything.
no, I didn't abstain.
Did you vote?
No.
Okay.
You said all those in favor of aye.
Oh, all those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dan.
Geez, we don't get to hear the nays very often.
I hope I will never abstain from a vote.
Okay. The ordinance passed, so thank you. Welcome to the town of Alpine. Yes,
Honorable Mayor, respected council members, and the beautiful people of Alpine. I love you all. And
Aw.
I hope I will, in all my community, I will add something that you'll be proud of, because that's my vision, that's my dream. I came here 30 years ago, when there was no winter green drive, when there was no you all.
Thank you, Ray. We look forward to seeing what you do with the property, so we'll be anxious to see.
Do something nice on the property.
Thank-
Head back.
We-
Now that offers so many things, I said, look, this place is too beautiful. Just today, anything like somebody's hamburgers.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We're counting on you to do something nice, so yes, thank
My
you.
work starts this summer.
Okay,
I was waiting for this annexation so that I could start, and I've already had a preliminary discussion.
right.
with the people and all.
Well, thank you.
Good. That's
And-
wonderful to hear.
Welcome to the town. Okay, moving down our list here. Alpine Engineering Master Agreement Revision. Monica, was that just,
So I
You and I
emailed
worked
that
on
to
that?
everybody today.
okay.
So it came to my attention last week
Oh, yes.
that
Oh, yes.
their engineering agreement,
Was on the calendar year, not the fiscal year.
yes. And so,
Which is funny because I thought we discussed
I-
that with them.
yeah, and of course, they came in, and they came in, in January, so I don't know. However, they said, what do you want to do about it? And I said, well, I feel like it needs to be calendar year based, or excuse me,
Fiscal.
fiscal year based, not calendar year
Yeah.
based. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So I said, get me over some sort of amendment just to get us through June 30th, and I'll get it to them. So it was on my desk. It was in my email this morning. So
No, the calendar is understandable because we have to vote them in just as we did.
yes, yeah, we started them in January, so I get it. That first year they did it for a year, but it makes sense that it follows the fiscal year because that really gives us
It's the
that
same,
guide.
it's the same contract, it's just now updated, so it gets us through the end of
Exactly.
this fiscal year.
Exactly, nothing changes. There's nothing new. It's just to edit the date.
Okay, I don't have the link to it on this, but did everyone have a chance to review it? Okay. I would entertain a motion to revise the master agreement with Jorgensen Engineering.
Are you looking at Emily?
He is
no.
looking at
I was gonna do it.
Frank, please take control.
will.
You're on a roll today.
I make a motion seeking approval for the revised master agreement between the town of Alpine and Jorgensen Engineering with a term of February 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2024, and granting authority for Mayor Green to sign the agreement on the behalf of the town of Alpine.
Second.
Have a motion, it's been seconded.
It's a lot of words.
Any discussion? Good job, Frank. Way to go, Emily.
Thanks.
I think we've clarified the reason for this. If there's no discussion, all those in favor of the revised master agreement between the town of Alpine and Jorgensen Engineering, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Moving on down to resolution. You know what, Monica, let's do the Wind River event
Oh, yes, so
permit.
Alex
We could get
can go
Alex out of
home.
here.
Alex wants to
Yeah, get him
stay.
out of here.
Come on.
I know he wants to stick around, but this is just the permit for the youth. Is it still happening, Alex?
Okay.
Okay, so that would be this weekend. They're doing a,
The Jubilee weekend.
No.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay, so we have a couple weeks to get some more. Gotcha.
I will reach out to Craig,
That number's not right.
verify that he's comfortable with that before the
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
determining factor.
Okay. You'd put the age ranges in there. Can you remind me again? Because I want people to know about this event.
Alex, sorry, can you
Oh, yeah,
step up to
thank
the,
you.
and turn on the mic on? The people at home will not be able to hear you.
People at home will not hear me. So January 27th, the Wind River Youth Snowcross to be determined and held in Alpine, snow depth dependent, would be for ages 9 to 14, I believe. And the event will start at 9:30 in the morning with a racers meeting, races to follow. I don't believe they've actually held an event yet, so I'm not sure the extent of the day that will be used up, but it won't be artificial light, so it would be, light dependent as well. They wouldn't run over past 4:30 or 5 o'clock, so.
And the piece of property that you're looking to hold this event is town property over in between Melvin and the sewer plant,
Correct.
where there has been other snow cross events in the past, and we're only going to be utilizing town land, not
Correct.
BLM or Fish and Game or whatever.
Correct. And talking with so this is being held in conjunction with the Pinedale Snow Explorers and Top of the Rockies here in Alpine, Wyoming, which I'm the president. After talking to their president, they have reached out to Melvin's, and Melvin's has graciously said we can use some of their parking as well. So if we are going to use any parking, they just requested maybe widening that south side of the road.
Yeah,
Just enough so that we can have some parallel parking just with traffic.
yep, we talked about that.
Yep.
And what is the event fee? What is the normal?
There is no event fee for,
So
you mean
our-
the
we
event
have a-
fee?
Sorry.
So there's
Yes.
a,
We have a
Event
fee.
permit fee.
It's $45.
Oh, okay.
But this is being held in conjunction with our Jubilee.
Right.
So we thought it was appropriate to waive their event fee since it's part of our event.
Oh, I
That's,
absolutely agree.
that's,
I'm glad
that's
that
why
we
we were asking, yeah.
asked them.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But there's no spectator fee.
no spectator fee.
Well, hopefully they'll want to do this again.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, that's what we're
This is
hoping.
an ongoing thing.
Yes.
Yep.
This is the first annual race circuit that Pinedale's trying to get going.
Wonderful.
Mother Nature has not been good to them so far. We may actually be their first event, but hopefully they can hold one. I do believe they were supposed to have one this past Friday or Saturday, and I'll reach out and see if they were able to get it done and get a little bit more information so that when I talk to Craig, we have a better understanding of what we're going to be doing.
Yep, I think it's a great event. With that being said, do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, does it have to be fresh snow, or can we bring in truck snow?
I don't think we're going to have to, we're not going to want to bring in fresh snow for an event. In the past, when the other snowmobile events happened, it was a big to-do. We had what do you call it, the pusher, the snow pusher?
Oh, the cat.
The snow cat that was pushing snow around and made all these jumps, and it was a big event over a couple days. This is small scale, and basically, we just need to pack down a track for these youngsters to do this, and I don't think it's going to be nearly as big as what we've had in the past. So our hope is with this storm that's coming in now and any subsequent storms leading up to that, I think we should have plenty of snow. We're just hoping to cover the sagebrush, which last week when we were out there, really, it wasn't. So,
but what we got this last weekend sure helped.
yeah, and then this next storm. So I think we should be good.
Put it on the account. Mr. Mayor, make a motion for approval of Wind River Youth Snowcross event on January 27th, 2024, and requesting waiver of the event permit fee.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion?
Somebody else have?
Since there's no discussion, all those in favor of giving the Wind River event a permit and waiving the event permit fee, say aye.
Aye.
Aye? All right, congratulations. We're looking forward to that. Thanks, Alex. Sorry you had to wait around some.
Good radio interview, too.
Oh, we got, it's fixed. We got it fixed.
Sorry.
It was on, yeah, it was a setting
Oh,
on private.
okay. I didn't know what the message was. Okay.
Okay, so moving down our list here, ordinance 2023-10, the Architectural Review Committee. This is the second reading. this is basically a committee that would,
Okay, so you did skip some things.
I was gonna
sorry.
remind him if he, does he need to go
I'll work back
Okay.
up. I'm all disjointed tonight.
That's okay.
Thank you.
So, one of the things I noted, though, is that I had some assistance with getting all the resolutions and everything updated and put on the meeting. And when she saved my previous one, I see she did not change the ordinance number at the top. The ordinance number, the resolution number should be 2024-003.
For Dead Horse?
Yes, please.
Okay.
No, that's the incorrect number.
2024-0,
003.
okay.
Yes.
Wow, we did get creative with it. Okay.
Yeah, it was saved. It must have been saved and
So
not
we'll
edited.
need to change that.
Yeah.
That as well. Okay, so we have the Dead Horse Meadows annexation seeking approval of resolution number 2024-003.
So basically, the resolution, it's a part of the process that I do. We did do a resolution on them before. We had not set at that time. We were waiting for engineering. We did not set a hearing date because of the time lapse that it's taken. I decided it was appropriate to do a second resolution because it in like more than 2 months. So all the engineering's been done, the report's done, that was included in your packet. The hearing's been set for, is it February 20th? Is that right? Is that the date? February 20th at 6 PM in advance of your next town council meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
So basically, the resolution just says that it
We
complied.
received, right?
It complied, the report's done,
Okay.
and there's a hearing, and all notices have gone out in the mail already for the hearing.
Is anyone in attendance from Dead Horse Meadows annexation petition?
Marlo is on the line.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have the annexation report and the map up on the screen. Is there anything you'd like to bring to the conversation?
No, not really. I'd be glad to answer any questions. I think what you have in front of you is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
What we're requesting.
Madam Clerk, have we done everything we need to do? All the notices have been sent out. The dates have all been met?
Yes.
Okay.
So all the certified mail and the first-class mail for all adjoining properties and the property owner and the utilities went out. Most went out last week. The last of them went out today.
I don't have any other questions. Does anybody here in town council have a question?
This is just approval for petition, not first reading, correct?
Yeah, it's just approval for that everything's there. This is what you've got, and we're having a hearing on the 20th.
Yep.
I would entertain a motion.
Making a motion seeking approval of resolution number 2024-003, Dead Horse Meadows annexation.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of resolution number 2024-003, Dead Horse Meadows annexation, say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? Didn't hear it? All
You
right.
have met statue. Thank you.
Motion passes, so we will be reading that. We'll have the first reading in the public hearing at the next meeting. let's talk about Pedigree Stage Stop sponsorship. Real quick. They're just seeking approval for a $200 sponsor.
For a banner.
For a banner.
How many years have we done it?
I couldn't tell
I
you.
think we've
6,
done it
8.
for quite a long time, haven't we?
Yeah,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, a while. You've been the main sponsor, everything from,
Sorry.
I
That's my fault.
No.
I
I'm
retract
just-
my discussion.
No, I mean, you can, but you can't spend public money like this. I sent out a memo earlier.
Yeah,
on-
that's what I was gonna question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
You were
so
gonna
this
send
is
me-
basically comes back to a larger issue
Yeah,
that a municipality can't necessarily make it sponsor like an event, private event.
right,
That's
How,
what, this
why
is a
were we
public
doing
event.
it?
because they weren't supposed to. Because they wouldn't listen to me.
Okay,
it was,
I understand now.
it was an economic driver for the town of Alpine. It brought in people from around the valley. To our local businesses.
But according to the Wyoming Supreme Court, you can't have promotion as part of your underlying reason
Okay.
for giving them money. There's only.
But I think we have a tourism board that this is a perfect.
Mr. Mayor, that's exactly where I was headed, is, we
Perfect.
do have a
I would,
travel and tourism board, and
I would say we need to hustle up and get application in as soon as possible for this.
and a meet.
Is it, yeah, when's your next, or first meeting of the year?
It's not until March.
Okay, so.
After the
be
fact.
After.
I'll look at our bylaws and see what,
It'll be a good start for next year.
You can,
yeah, essentially it'd be calling a special session
it may be
and
that
putting our new board,
Yes.
oh, she's already gone,
And
putting our
maybe-
new board member to work.
you guys can have your first, elect your, whatever, your positions.
Yeah.
Maybe we can figure that out, but, so, Monica, do you have contact for these people?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can
And-
you reach out to them
and
and say
so-
that's what we'd prefer to
And
do?
so they're one of the organizations that we've been managing their money
Yeah,
as well, which just in full disclosure, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to her, but after this race, prior to July 1st, we will be turning all monies back to them. They need to create a 501(c) and take care of their own money.
Is that Angie Kin?
Yes, she's lovely. She rushed in here one day. I was doing like 6 things, and the girls helped her. But, and it's a wonderful. Just to say, it's a wonderful thing. However, it's not appropriate for the town of Alpine, and
we seem to
to
be
be
dispersing
to
their
be
funds.
doing it.
I'd be curious how the other towns do it. I mean, so they've gone Jackson, Pinedale, Rock Springs, Kemmer, Driggs, but that's Idaho, so
Well, I'm sure. Do they? But
Evanston.
yeah, I mean, do they hold their money in the general fund?
I can't imagine. This will just be.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll help them grow up. I think this will. No, it's fine.
Ruin everything, Jim. You just ruin everything.
That's, I think,
My
Every
family-
every organization I've ever been involved in historically, not in Wyoming, with events, we had our own bank account. We had our own board. We managed our own money. We had our own secretary, our own treasurer.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never gone to a town and gave them my money for deposit.
Yeah.
That's where we don't mind, supporting what they're doing in a way that a town can, but they have to have their own.
we just have a lot going on, and we're doing this in general across the board. We're not picking on the Pedigree
No,
Stage
we've
Stop.
done
We're
it for
trying to
multiple
offload
organizations.
as many of these things that we've coming across.
Yeah,
So,
because it creates additional work.
yeah, we don't need additional work. We're
Mayor
full.
Green?
Yes.
Isn't like up in the hole, isn't the lodging tax move its way into tourism?
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Because it can't come from you.
Correct.
It
Yeah.
has to come from something
Yes.
labeled that can go to.
Exactly. So the lodging tax, that's exactly what this is for, and we just need to get them an application to the tourism board. And I think they have a great pedigree, no pun intended. So we'll,
Oh, I'd say pun intended.
yeah,
I would have
That
said
pun
that.
in
pun
there.
intended, I guess.
Put that pun in there.
But, no, I think they'll have, a good chance for success of winning their grant, on this. I think it's a great event, and we
Yes.
need to keep it going, whatever we need to do to support them. So at this point, we will be passing on, the town council, it seems like, for approval, but hopefully we'll be able to, make it happen through the proper channels on the tourism board. Okay, moving.
Can I make a quick comment?
Yes, please.
If you guys are still looking for sponsors, I guarantee you that Top of the Rockies would love to be a sponsor. You should contact them. We can talk about it.
There you go.
I don't believe we've been asked to be a sponsor, and this is exactly the kind of community event we like to support.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Andrea.
In which case, do we have to make a motion to, you just leave it?
No, we'll just,
Okay.
yeah, we just pass right over it. Yep, so moving on down, second reading of ordinance 2023-10, Architectural Review Committee. So this is the committee that we are looking to start. Basically, they would work, they'd be underneath the Land Use Development Code, and they would be tasked with developing what the commercial buildings in the town of Alpine are going to look like from now until whenever. And what that will entail is coming up with guidelines, using guidelines from other similar mountain towns, and coming up with what we want those commercial buildings to look like. This is not for private residences. This is strictly for commercial buildings. So in the future, private residences, like, you'll have to pass HOAs. If you don't have an HOA, Architectural Review Committee, then, you know, you're free to do whatever they'll allow. But, so this is strictly for commercial buildings. Does anyone have any questions? I mean, we could make a motion and talk about it, but,
Put it on the table.
okay, go for it.
Make a motion for approval, second reading, ordinance number 2023-10, Architectural Review Committee. Yeah.
Second.
Does anyone have any comments? The Architectural Review Committee will be appointed. If you would like to sit on it, we're taking applications now. But there is, we are kind of targeting one member that used to be on planning and zoning, and 2 architects. So I think they would do an excellent job and at least be be able to come up with a great document that we can put into the Land Use Development Code, and it becomes law. And, you know, there will be plenty of opportunity for public comment at that point. But if someone wants to participate, they should definitely get in touch with me or the clerk, and we'll put you in touch with them.
And that's a 3-person.
It's set up as a minimum of 3 people,
Okay.
isn't it? Or shall consist of 3 members
We did
to be appointed by the mayor, so,
Okay.
yeah. Any more comments? With no further comments, all those in favor of ordinance 2023-10, the Architectural Review Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That was on second reading. Passes on second reading. All right, now, I think we need a motion to remove something from the tabled items.
Make a motion to remove from the table resolution number 2023-517, Grease addition to the town of Alpine, seeking approval to remove, there we go, that's it.
We have a motion.
Second.
It's been seconded. This is only for removing it from the table. Is there any comments? All those in favor of removing item resolution number 2023-517 from the table, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we can discuss the resolution. think we should probably,
Can we pull up the updated map?
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the information that we received from Surveyor Sherbel. And essentially, they've added this hammerhead driveway. Is this considered a driveway, Marlo?
Yeah, still a driveway,
It's not a street, okay. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in on this real quick.
it's also a T-shaped access easement.
T-shaped access easement, and the plat map, the plat map does say that?
Yes.
Okay.
This would solidify the
Okay. I would entertain a motion, if there is one.
Make a motion for approval of resolution number 2023-517, greased addition to the town of Alpine.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion from town council? I'll start with,
Just going over the notes.
I think Councilman Burchard, you're just gonna recuse yourself from the vote, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any comments from town council?
For myself, I've spoke with Christine, a few developers. This is, for me, it's one that it does meet the rules. There is the what is it, lag, or the driveway? The
Flag lot?
Flag lot,
Flag
thank you,
lot.
Mayor. It is a flag lot, however, our LUDC does not say we cannot have flag lots, so I would highly suggest those on the table in the audience for when we relook at our LUDC
Absolutely.
to include flag lots. The one that meets all the expectations. It was approved by our P and Z, and yeah, my hope is that we hear a lot of negative stuff, and I see 4 lots there, and boy, I wish them the best. I wish you the best. I hope it's a great owner. I hope they're involved in the community. I hope they're in the volunteer fire department. They volunteer for SAR. They volunteer for boards. And all I can say is I hope.
Any other comments from town council?
Well, I appreciated legal counsel advising on what exactly the steps that we have to go through to look at how to work with approval after it's given by P and Z, and to make sure that if we are deciding to go against a recommendation, what type of evidentiary support we have to have for that. So I know that certain members have been very patient with redesigning. I had some concerns with the initial designs, and I know that we've taken a lot of your time. And Marlo, this goes for you too, and P and Z kicking it back and just making sure we could perfect it to the best of our abilities. So I have to say, as a council, I think this is the most time that we have allocated to a certain proposed development, especially one that is core homes. Yes. And I hope we've allotted enough time to hear from the public, and they've had very legitimate, especially design concerns, fire safety concerns, and I'm happy that we've been able to hopefully work through those. I know it's not perfect, but I have appreciated everyone in this process giving their time and their energy to offer comment and to offer support in redesign.
Yeah, Jim especially, I appreciate all the work that you've done.
You've put an incredible amount of time.
a lot of work.
Yes.
I'll echo basically what has already been said, but I think this particular replat has brought up several things within the land use development code that we need to look at.
Yes.
I personally, I think this is a flag lot, definitely. We only discourage flag lots, and I would hope that when we look at the land use development code, that that's one of the main topics that we look at and we get everyone's feedback on. In my opinion, I have not heard anything that would discourage me from approving this because everything is allowed within the land use development code. If there was something that was black and white that is not allowed, I would definitely be voting against it. But at this point, I have not found anything that would make me not approve this subdivision. And I appreciate all the work that Marlo and in particular our staff has done an amazing amount of work, and
Yes.
the town has taken on a lot as well, having to re-notify all the neighbors. And we are going to be changing this process in the future because we don't want to run up against this in the future.
It's a lot of work.
It's a ton of work, and
Yeah, a lot of
there's-
time.
the onus should not be on the town to notify all these people, so
And to pay for that advertising.
it's crazy. Just the stamps and the time that we put into that. So we're gonna be changing all that in the future. The onus will be on either whoever's annexing in or doing a replat. They're gonna be responsible for paying for all those notifications. So it's just the way it should be done. But at this point, I haven't found anything that would cause me to not grant this replat. Any other comments from anyone on town council? I would open it up to public comment. I would hope that you would, we've had lots of time to hash this, rehash it. If anyone has any new information that they would like to bring to us, anything that would lead us to believe it does not work within our land use development code would be welcome. Keeping in mind, we've had lots of comments, public comment on this. If anyone wants to make further comment, I'd be more than willing to listen. But please keep it to information that we haven't heard before, or information that wouldn't necessarily, this wouldn't work within the land use development code. Oh, okay.
Next
Yep.
to the groomer.
No, that's a great question. It's a little bit of an odd area.
So this is way over by the trailhead for the Grays. So this is Grays River Road here, and this is Nelson Lane. I could,
Next to Tim's and the groomer.
yeah.
Sorry, I just didn't recognize
Well, it's been vacant for so long that I think people,
It's where the groomers park.
yes.
Next to
There, yep, right next door. Is there any public comment? Go ahead. Go ahead. Please give your name for the record as well, Jace.
Jace Walsh, I'm on one of the lots adjacent to this, and so I'm trying to understand any lot that could be broken up into smaller lots that hits the size limit within the town boundaries. Is that accurate? And is that the way it's always been?
To my knowledge, yes, as long as, so within the land use development code, by zoning districts, it's laid out exactly how small the lots can be. This is well within that. Mr. Grice could have actually subdivided this into
To
8
8.
lots, and he chose not to.
So we can do lots that are less than, so I could take my lot, which is over 0.4 of an acre, tear my house down and subdivide it into 2 lots? Is that accurate?
No, because you can only go as small as a quarter acre.
Okay. So I thought the average size here was listed as 0.43 in the notice I received.
That's two of them. Two of them are larger.
264.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's limited to, you said half an acre?
No, so a quarter acre is the smallest lot that you
Okay.
can have in the town of Alpine.
And so that's, so anything that's half an acre could be torn down and divided into two lots, is that accurate?
Possibly.
Could
Possibly,
apply.
yeah, and also, I think there's, I don't know if you have to account for roads and things of that nature, but there's, trust me, Jace, if you want to get that information, you should definitely download the land use development code.
I've-
It's a lot of.
So,
nice
but anything that's in the, as long as it complies with the land use development code, the town feels that they are required to approve those? I'm trying to understand.
No,
that.
I appreciate that.
Because the land use development code is the law.
Okay.
So that is the law, it has to go through 3 readings. We actually just got finished doing that. And, for example, flag lots is allowed but discouraged within, what is it?
I don't like the discouraged, but go ahead. You're
It says it.
Yeah, you're saying it
It
correctly.
does say.
It says discouraged.
So is something that's discouraged a reason that the town could then disapprove it? If not, why is that even in there?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
to
definitely
fix that.
some of the language that we're looking at changing. But like I said, it's a major process. It took us a whole year to get that done. So we will probably start looking at the land use development code again soon. Yes, we have public hearings on that, and any comments are welcome at that point.
And I guess my concern here is with the skyrocketing value of land in this town, it would make sense for a lot of people that are on over half an acre to split their lots right now. And my impression was it was much harder to change lot boundaries. Whenever I purchased the lot next to this,
I would
with
say
two,
this has been an easy process, I'll tell you that.
and so I guess my concern is how much density do we want to do in this town if we're saying that anyone that has half an acre can essentially split their lots. I'm disappointed that that's the way the system works. That is not the impression I got at the last meeting that was reviewing this. So I guess where was I supposed to find out about the change between the last meeting and this meeting? Because that's not how it seemed to be left at the last meeting. So I appreciate you guys are doing what appears to be required by law here. But I'm a little disappointed in how little communication there has been with the neighbors. I've received the 2 notices on this, so it would have been nice to have received more updates on what was happening, and that what appeared to be where the town council was going at the last meeting seems to have changed between now and then. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
comments. Madam Clerk, did we make all the
I thought
proper
we
notifications?
Sent out a revised map.
Proper notification.
Oh, okay.
It's- I'm disappointed in what those notifications were.
Okay, we'll take him.
I'm Patricia McQuaid. I live on Columbine Street, and I have regularly been coming not only to town council meetings, but to planning and zoning board meetings. So this has been going on for months and months. And my understanding has been from kind of the beginning with planning and zoning that this fits the requirements of the rules.
Right.
And people have made objections and things have been changed a bit, the driveway or whatever. But it fits the rules. And we can change the rule, you can go through that maybe and change the rules, but right now, it fits the rules. And I've listened to planning and zoning and to the town council, and that's what I've heard for months now, is that this fits the rules. And if, I've gone back into that neighborhood, and there are some lots that are an acre. all around there are small lots. I think you said yours is like 0.4? 0.4, so a couple of these are 0.6. So, you know, to object because you'd like to have bigger lots around you, you know, and you say, okay, if everybody's going to divide theirs half lot into quarter lots, number one, we need housing. You know, people are looking for housing. So if we all want to say we want to live on 5 acres or whatever, great. But that's definitely going to limit for people to get housing. So my view is it fits the rules now. If you want to change the rules, then you can go through that process. But I think to make Mr. Grease endure this month after month after month, I don't think that's fair to him. He's fit the rules, so.
How many pages is the land use and development code?
We've got the book right up here, but, and by the way, thank you, Pat.
Thank you,
have
Pat.
perfect attendance in every meeting I've attended, so thank you so much for being that involved.
She is, she's
the Land
amazing.
Use Development Code, just so everyone knows, is
That's this one.
this size. There's a new one that's green.
I got it.
Find it at the website.
I'm trying to see.
It is on the website.
If someone wants to,
Pages.
And I would recommend everybody to read it. I'm learning a lot. Mo's looking at me like you're crazy. I find it very interesting. And I have to say, sometimes developments come forward, thank you, which highlight the fact that it is overdue to go back and look at land use development codes, let's say, and we would love for public comment, we'd love for the public to be really involved as they can in that process, because we try to think of everything, we try to think of what's cohesive. In this case, we've had plans across our desk that had proposed 0.14 acre. So we're trying to also be fair on both sides. We're trying to be fair to a developer who's coming in, also trying to make a profit. So we have to, unfortunately, or fortunately, we have to be guided by what we have in place at this time.
the last thing I would,
Oh,
Mr.
I'm sorry,
Grice, would
Mr.
you like
Grice,
to
you haven't
come up and speak?
commented.
Thank you.
It's 136 pages, not including the attachments, appendices.
Mo,
or
that's a
index.
light read.
Mr. Grice, thank you.
I'm Barry Graced. I just wanted to reiterate that I've worked on this for a long time, and I met the requirements for planning and zoning. I've met the requirements for the town of Alpine, and I want to thank all of you for all the time that it's taken to get this to this point. And I do plan on building down there, and my wife and I plan on building a house and actually living in it there. We want to be part of that end of town.
Yes.
So I'm not just doing it for profit, because we want to live there. So I just wanted to thank
Yeah.
everybody and note that, and I would appreciate you approving this.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Grice. I would say, no matter what happens, if this does get approved, I would encourage neighbors, everyone, go and introduce yourself to Mr. Grice. I don't have any history with Mr. Grice, but in the few opportunities we've had the chance to speak, he's been very affable, and I think he would be willing to listen to the neighbors and work with you all to try to make the neighborhood better. So that's always what I've heard from Barry. So I appreciate you coming and speaking. Is there any further comment? Yes, Mr. Rogers, I'm sure you have something new to bring to the table.
Actually, I don't have anything new to bring. I've
Okay.
sent you emails, you know my many objections and why I think it's a bad idea. I would say it's been a long process, and I appreciate all of the time that you've put in to look at this, because the process is not very well developed, and it does need to be readdressed and changed, and I appreciate you saying that needs to be done. I would say that despite the fact you think it followed the law, by going through this process, we did find out that it didn't meet the frontage requirements, and now the changes have been made to do that. So this process hasn't been for naught.
Absolutely.
And on that note, I would say, while I don't think the private road, as opposed to a private driveway, is a good thing, it's better than a shared driveway. And I would like to thank the town, especially the road department, for very prompt and efficiently keeping our roads open and clean during the last storm. I think that's something that needs to be said.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Here, here. They've
Thank you.
done a great job. Thank you for all your comments too through this whole process. We appreciate. So any further comment? All right. Let's get a motion on the table, I guess. Do we already have a motion?
We have a motion.
All right. We have a motion. It's been seconded. With no further discussion, all those in favor of resolution number 2023-517, increased addition to the town of Alpine, say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries.
Can I just add something?
Yes.
This is how our republic works, folks, and everybody has been polite. I mean, there's people who haven't been in favor, but they've gone and properly given their opinions on it. Our boards have followed the law. They were remanded back to find more findings. So I just want to commend everybody here. I know it was a difficult decision. These poor folks, when they raised their hand and swore to upkeep the law of the state of Wyoming, I don't know if they really knew what they were getting into. But I'm just, this is just makes me, as a lover of our system of government, just so happy to see that, some of us disagreed, some of us wanted what we wanted, but this is how things work, and if there's a problem with it, we change it so that it works in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you for that comment. I totally agree. So thank you, everyone, for getting involved as they have. We now have a line item for public comment. If anyone has anything in general they wanted to say. We do have Representative Byron here, and he came all the way from Hoback Junction. Maybe you'd like to come and just make some comments?
He wants to get out of here.
No, I just agree with what was just said. It's fascinating to watch it work at this level, and if anyone comes to Cheyenne, please call me.
Yeah.
Eric did, when he came down last year, and I encourage anyone to visit. There's some cool Capitol tours, and only be there for 30 days this year, but yeah.
Yeah, last year I went down and was present for the SLIB board, where we were granted $750,000 grant for the radio read meters, and so that was pretty impressive. Got snowed in Cheyenne for a couple of days, but had more opportunities to go to other meetings in Cheyenne, so that was very interesting to see that. But if anyone hasn't had a chance to talk to Andrew before, I definitely encourage you. He's so welcoming and wants to hear from everybody. So yeah, thank you for attending.
Thank you.
At this point,
Can I make a comment?
yes, please.
So this Friday is bingo, everybody's favorite. This week, the 50/50 raffle is going to benefit the Alpine Scholarship Fund. So it's a great Friday to show up and play, buy some 50/50 raffle tickets, so we can make some money for the kids. Also, when we have casino night, which Monica already talked about, we have great raffle items donated from local businesses, from Alpine to Thane. And again, I encourage everybody to come down and have a good time and support the children.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
Yes.
Any other public comment? Yes.
One quick question. How long is the chicken survey going to be on the town of Alpine? And do you have an update on that as far as what kind of response?
Yeah, do we know how many responses we've received?
Melody mentioned it. I think last I heard, it's been a while, there was weighing in favor of them. And so that item will be on the agenda for the February work session. With the holidays, we didn't have a work session in January, so it'll be on your work session to discuss the results of the.
We're still tabulating the results because we're trying to figure out who actually lives in the town of Alpine.
Alpine, yeah.
That gave us comments, so
So, yeah,
it's a little bit of a process, but
Yeah.
we will have a chance to discuss that. And yeah, Juan, we'll let you voice your opinion on that. So.
I was asking on behalf of Luis.
Oh, yeah. Luis, your neighbor. Anyways, yes, Patricia. We did. Pass.
You were up there.
Yes, you were still making your big comments.
No.
You did.
Well, and I will say a comment about the survey. If it does turn out that people, and I know it's topic dependent, but if it does turn out that people have taken an interest in taking surveys, we would love to utilize them.
I agree.
Perhaps, dare I say, for more pressing issues in the future. Sorry, Maida. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we look forward to seeing how the public reacts with that. We're trying to utilize it as a helpful tool for us.
Yeah, and one of the concerns is in truth, we represent the citizens of the town of Alpine, and a lot of people live in an area called Alpine in the same zip code, but don't live in the incorporated boundaries. So we just need to be cautious that the voice that we're hearing is from the people who actually live here.
Yes.
In these things. So that survey's not a clear-cut way to do that. So, we did find that out.
The survey does require that you enter your address.
Correct.
Yes.
We're also cross-referencing names. So it's a process.
It's a process.
But
The objective is to compile this and eventually, if it's in favor, to draft an ordinance and get public hearings and all that
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Yeah, there'll be public hearings. That's one data point that will go into the the whole process. But we thought it was a good way just to kind of start the conversation. So, anyways, if there's no further public comment,
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Just one quick, now that we have snow, Alpine Trails and Pathways is grooming the lake bed. Grooming happens on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and so that'll be good to go. And we're still doing grooming along the bench of the Grays up to Little Jenny Lake. And then we'll be having our Coney Classic fundraiser, which is a ski Jordan dog party at the Lake Bed Trails. It benefits Alpine Trails and Pathways and Lucky's Animal Shelter. We split it 50-50. That'll be February 10th for that.
Awesome.
Very nice.
It's a great event.
It is.
And
It is
thank you
very
for
fun.
doing all the grooming. So, anyways, any more public comment? No.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session.
9 o'clock.
Second.
We have a motion that's been seconded. All those in favor of going into executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. You guys, thanks, Marlo. Yeah, thanks, Dale.
Thanks, Daryl.
Hi, friend. How are you?
You're dying to come to Bingo Friday, aren't you?
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. I wouldn't have ate today. I wouldn't have ate today without you. No, I had donuts.
Yeah, we'll let them know.
So I tried to eat dinner, but then people came in, so I put it back. So I brought some soup, but it happens on Tuesdays.
Wow. That's it. Thank you.
I used to shake your ass.
I know you're trying to get